Welcome to this short training on ideas from ideas to sales. And go on now. Today we are talking about how one clear path helps multi-passionate creators focus their ideas, find their core framework, and make selling feel simple and more natural. Just a little bit about me. Hi, I'm Emma Sydney. I'm a business designer helping course creators to get their courses selling and making a difference. So I am a multi-passionate. I have had 3 businesses, a hobby business as a jewelry maker. I was a nutritional life coach, and now I have focused my efforts on helping course creators to create courses that sell. Within, I also help to really identify your goals. I do lots of other things. One of the things, I've been doing this for like over 10 years, and one of the things I have realized is to have that core framework, to have that clear customer journey, to have that what I call like hook to hang your hat on. It really helps with your messaging. It helps with your course appeal. It helps with your course design. It doesn't mean that you don't do other things, and things can peel off it. It can be like a tasting menu. I often use an analogy of a restaurant, and it can be, like I say, like a journey and experience with different like A roads and stuff like that coming on it. Once you understand what the core of it is about, it can actually bring greater flexibility because you've got that core. It helps people understand what you're about. And anyway, so I'm going on about the whole thing. I have been an internal auditor. Again, I went into lots of different businesses. I looked at things like printer contracts. I looked at things like Superloos. I have done so much, so I totally get it. And I've trained in NLP, and this is something I've been looking at how I can do it. And I know that it's really, it can be a real struggle. So most don't struggle with ideas. You can struggle too many ideas at once. This is what happens to me quite often. So the problem can be then when you try to offer everything, it merges, it blurs your messaging, it gets confusing, and it can feel heavy. You are not landing. And we live in a really busy, buzzy world, which is why really looking at that whole journey, that whole year, you can sell more than one thing at once, but to have that core understanding really does make a difference with how you can bring those ideas to life. Like I say, being a multi-passionate, I am one myself. It is a strength, but we need to get clearer. We need to cut through that mess that's going on in the world. There's a part of the brain called the reticular activating system. The reticular activating system helps us achieve our goals. We need to be appealing to our customers, clients, reticular activating system, and help them achieve their goals. So when we come to the point of like, what do we love? How do we want it? What are our ideas? How can that appeal to that ideal client? Then that makes a difference. And that's where this customer journey and this sort of signature idea comes in. It is about creating that path to start. It is about showing up with your expertise and using it to, pull off those different ideas. So actually, what does that mean? It does mean one main problem you're known for solving. You can do lots of other things from things, but it is about that problem. It is about that one transformation that you guide them through. It is about an obvious next step. It is about focus, but not restriction. You can still do a lot when you start to bring this all into oneness. And I know that that can feel a bit scary because I've been there myself. So the core framework is the thread that connects your ideas. It's how you see the problem. It's how you guide people. It's how you create the change. And that's what turns your knowledge into something sellable. People can go onto AI and Google something now, or go onto ChatGPT and find out the information. They are not you. They need you to be the guide. They need you to speak clearly to them and say, this is how I'm going to help you. I am taking you by the hand. We need that connection. We need that collaboration in our messaging and in our courses. So why does a framework help your sales? It makes your messaging easy to understand. It builds that trust, and it gives your audience confidence to say yes. It makes it repeatable in terms of selling instead of being exhausting. So, when you organize your expertise and you build your course around that framework, it becomes the center of your ecosystem. It supports that consistent income because you're creating that story. People love stories. You look at TikTok, you look at YouTube, you look at Facebook, stories are what sell. And you need to create that story for your audience. And from that, different ideas can come. We need to bring it back into that core to ground it. That's where the future is. I really truly believe that. And then you can experiment with different things. So, more quick tasks for today. What do people come to you most about? What do you help people move through again and again? What is that thread? What is the core idea, the core thing that you need? I worked with a client once. She was a nutritionist. She could do so many different things, a bit like I used to be able to do. We came to the fundamental thing is that she helped those with IBS to overcome that. From that, she could talk about sleep. She could talk about stress. She could talk about food. Lots of different things. We came to the core of it. We went through who the person is that she wanted to help. We talked about them being a rainbow. Instead of black and white corporate person, because they would be listening to what she'd got to say. Those type of things are what really does make the difference. So I look forward to how you get on with this task and also how your brain can kind of go, okay, simplifying one core framework that can actually make me help me do more. Have a lovely day and let me know what you think. Please do post in the community and tell me how you're getting on, ask any questions, your kind of what your answers are or your key takeaway, and have a fantastic day.